Hey guys, in this video we're going to take a look at two new functions in PHP 7, random int and random bytes. Okay, so random int we'll start with, which is a way to get a random number. Okay, a really nice and easy way to do it instead of writing your own functions which take up lines and lines of code. You can just use this simple function. So as an example, let's go ahead and we're going to var dump. Actually, we'll set a variable here. We'll just call rand, and we're going to set it to random underscore int. And then what it takes in is two parameters. It takes a min, which is the lowest value to be returned, and a max, which is the highest value. So let's say we want it between 100 and 999. Okay, and then down here we're going to just echo rand. Reload, and it gives us 593. Okay, if we want to call var dump on it, just to make sure that it's actually an integer. Okay, so, and you can see every time I reload it's completely different. Okay, but it's always going to be in this range. If I change this, let's add a couple nines and reload, and there we go. Okay, very simple. Now, in addition to random int, we also have a function called random bytes, and does just that. It generates a string of random bytes that can be used for a bunch of different things like random tokens. Alright, so let me give you an example here. So let's say, now if we go ahead and echo this out, reload, and we get something that is unrecognizable. Alright, so this is the raw output of random bytes. If you want to make this useful, then we need to parse it using, we can use a function called bin to hex. Alright, so for that, we're going to say echo bin to hex, and we're going to pass in random bytes. I'm sorry, not random bytes, just the bytes variable. Okay, let's get rid of that. Save it and reload, and now we get a hexadecimal string that is twice as long as the bytes generated. Now, what I'd like to do is to do something that is somewhat useful. Alright, so there's a lot of times when we want to have tokens to verify certain things. We want random tokens. So that's what we're going to do. Let's create a function and call it random token. Alright, and that's going to take in a length. Okay, and we're going to set default, we're going to set 32. And then in here we're going to do an if statement, and we're going to say if is not set, so exclamation mark is set, and we want to pass in length, and then we want to say or int val, pass in length, and then right here we're going to say less than or equal to 8. Okay, and then in here we're going to just set length equal to 32. Okay, so now we want to check to see if random bytes exists, if the function exists. All right, if we're not using PHP 7, then it's not going to work. All right, so we do have a fallback if that doesn't work. Let's check to see if the function actually exists. So we're going to say if function underscore exists, and then we're going to pass in random underscore bytes. Then we want to return bin to hex, and we want to pass in random bytes and pass in the length. Okay, now what we want to do is check for another function. Okay, this time we're checking for mcrypt underscore create underscore IV. Okay, if that exists, then we're going to return bin to hex and then pass in here mcrypt create IV, and then we're going to pass in the length. Okay, and then we want an option of mcrypt underscore dev underscore urandom. Okay, just like that. And then we'll go down outside of the function and we're going to say echo, we'll say echo random token. Okay, reload, and there we go. And every time I reload, it's different. Now if we want to generate a salt using this token, we can do that. We'll say function salt. Okay, and we're going to return, we're going to use the substring function, and then in here we're going to pass in strtr and base 64 underscore encode, and then we're going to use that hex to bin. Yeah, hex to bin, and then we can pass in our random token. Okay, along with 32. Then we're going to go after the third parentheses here and put in a comma, and then a plus sign. Okay, another parameter, which is going to be a dot. And then after this parentheses, we're going to do 0 and then 44. Alright, so let's comment this out. And let's do echo salt. Reload, and there we go. Okay, so this is actually very helpful and useful. You can use it whenever you want to generate salts or you want to generate a random token. Alright, so that's it, and I'll see you in the next video.